Radio.
Hello and welcome to Cryptocurrent, the only podcast to bring you beginner and advanced knowledge of cryptocurrency and blockchain, analyses of cryptocurrency markets, and discussions on growing a business within the crypto space. Stay tuned and stay cryptocurrent.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cryptocurrent. Your host here, Richard Carthon, and got another exciting episode for you. We have Trevor Henry. He is, I believe, out in the UK, and he's working on an extremely interesting project that has to deal with gaming on the blockchain, and just we're going to learn so much on the various ways that he's tapping into this industry. So thank you so much, Trevor, for joining us today.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Of course, man. So tell us a little about yourself. Give us a little bit of background.
All right. So I'm not from the UK. I'm from South Africa. I've grown up here. I'm 27 years old now. I've always been in South Africa.
All right.
I finished school in 2010. I did a little bit of computers from 2011 to whenever it was. And then I dived into a bit of scuba diving. I was a teacher and instructor for a while. I actually worked in Thailand for about 9 months in a little island called Koh Tao. And then I found myself coming back to South Africa, and I did a bit of drone work. I was a drone pilot for a bit. I actually helped out in northern South Africa for a while. And we did a bit of anti-poaching and setting up things there for anti-poachers, which was pretty fun, pretty cool. Things to do. It was a learning experience, of course. And then I had my own company doing construction for a while as well. So I met a lot of cool people in the area. I did that in Cape Town for a bit. And then, I got into crypto at about... when was it? 2016, at the end of 2016. I figured I kind of got into that.
Wow.
And
man,
that's about it.
Let's unpack a little bit of that, man. So you have quite like a just plethora of experiences and all kinds of things, man. Like tell us about like a little bit of like before you kind of dove into cryptocurrency, like what's kind of been like the end game of everything? Was it just, hey, let's just go do some fun stuff, or what was all that for?
Yeah, look, I wouldn't say, my parents gave me whatever I wanted, in a sense of if I wanted to try something, they would help me do it. And which is really great. And I know a lot of people don't have that opportunity, and I used it to the best of my ability. And I did a lot of things that some people dream to do. And it really helped me. I mean, my time spent overseas was in Thailand was an eye-opener because I met a lot of cool people. A lot of interesting things came up. In fact, the first time I ever heard about Bitcoin was in Thailand from a Russian IT specialist that I was teaching to dive. And that kind of, got my interest aroused. And that's how I eventually led into the cryptocurrency area, basically.
Yeah, so let's dive into that. So you just said, you were being a scuba diver instructor, and a Russian kind of told you about like Bitcoin. So tell us a little bit more about like that interaction, and then where you kind of went from there.
Yeah, so like I said, I always had the knowledge of computers back in 2011 to 2014. And when he spoke about it, it wasn't new information. He spoke about the blockchain, and I understood it straight away, but I didn't understand how it can become, how it can grow in a sense, because back then it was just like, no, there's no way it's that something like that. And, he continued to explain it to me. And when I got home from Thailand, I kind of, dug into it a bit more, but I still didn't really understand what was going on until about 2016, when I really started to try and open my mind to it and see how it can help, especially now, like especially going forward, like how it can help us in our day-to-day lives.
Gotcha. So tell us about like once you start looking into it and looking more into the technology, what aspect of it where you're like, wow, I could use this and like build something on this?
There's a lot. I mean, Bitcoin for itself, to be a completely secure asset where you can send money and receive money completely anonymously. I mean, that for me was groundbreaking technology because I mean, look, it has its bad sides because now you got the mafia that can send money, you got people that can hold you ransom over it. But if you look at the bigger picture, there's so much more to blockchain and cryptocurrency that actually meets the eye. And it was so intriguing to me and how it can take over. Now, if you look at things that are happening now with blockchain, it's just crazy how things have progressed over a span of like when I got involved in 2016. I mean, no one heard about blockchain. 2017, obviously, that when the boom happened, and then everyone, mainstream got involved. And even up to now, 2019, from the 2018 crash all the way up to now, where we see Bitcoin climbing again, and people are like, "How?" And it's like, well, it's going to take over one day. I mean, I've been telling my friends and family for years now that when I have kids, maybe one day, my kids will grow up knowing blockchain. They won't know what fiat currency is.
Right. And we're definitely moving towards that kind of model. And, with that, with all the use cases that Bitcoin has, and as I began to learn myself about cryptocurrency, blockchain, and how it's being used throughout the world, there's so many different applications. And one of the ways that I've seen that you've been able to use this application of blockchain is through gaming. And I know that you've made a platform, or in the process of making a platform called Engage. So can you tell us a little bit about what it is and how you came up with the concept?
Okay, yeah. So let's let's start back on how we came up with the concept and how it originated. So back in 2017, I was unemployed basically, and I was playing a bit of games, and I always thought to myself, why is it that I can't make money from this, but the pros can? And I understand this because they have a lot more skill than I do, but they also spend a lot more time playing than I do. And then it occurred to me, let's solve this problem. Let's dive into it right away, and figure out a situation where we can reward every player in the world. And that's the beauty of it. When I did the research, there was 2.2 billion gamers worldwide. Now it's currently 2.5 billion. So it's a massive increase in the gaming industry, esports, if you want to call it that. And for me, it was, why not create a platform that can help any player in the world, no matter their skill level, to earn a bit of passive income while they're playing games. I mean, the most important reason for me behind it was in South Africa, the unemployment rate is at 54%. And it's been like that for the last 3 years. It's climbing. So there's a lot of guys here that are struggling to make ends meet. So why not have a platform where if you're playing a game, you're spending time in a game, you're playing a mobile game, whatever it is you play, you get rewarded to play that game. And that's where the whole Engage idea came, was let's start rewarding people in in tokens, the tokens that we use, and rewarding them for the time they spend in game as well as the achievements they unlock. So for instance, like with Steam, which is run by Valve Corporation, when you play a game, there's certain achievements that you unlock. You get like badges on your profile. So what we want to do is now we want to implement a monetized strategy that if you achieve those badges or whatever, you get a payout in a certain amount. So obviously there's certain badges that you get recurring that would be less expensive, but then there are certain badges that you would get that, much harder to get, and those badges would be much more rewarding. And that was the whole idea, was let's monetize the platform in a nutshell and allow all gamers of any skill level to spend time in game, but be rewarded for it as well.
Yeah, which is, I believe, a really smart business model. And it's very practical because you have all these people who will go and like spend hours and hours and hours, get all these achievements and get all these unique things in the games that serve them. But like once they're done playing it, why can't they like get rid of it or sell it to someone who's either just starting out and just wants the best stuff from the jump, or not, like really having that enterprise or marketplace within the game. And so it's really interesting that you're trying to create that marketplace, because I really do believe like there is a lot of practicality and use case for that.
Yeah. So like you said, I mean, currently now, if you can spend 8 hours a day of gaming, and you might not make it to a professional level, but the platform that we want to build is we want to allow you to spend that 8 hours and actually make something in return. So you're creating a value for the time that you spent in game. So, when I was growing up as a kid, my parents always said to me, gaming is the biggest waste of time. And I actually want to turn around and allow the kids now to say, no, Dad, Mom, I'm actually making some money from this. I can, let me carry on. And that's the whole mindset behind it.
Gotcha. Yeah. And there are definitely ways to do that. And earlier you were talking about how large this market is, growing from a 2.1 billion to 2.5 billion gamers internationally, and just how esports is truly like becoming front stage and potentially in the process of becoming like an official like sports leagues here in the States, and just with everything else that's going on in Fortnite, and just so much attention being thrown in the gaming space. How do you think that blockchain platforms in particular are going to help revolutionize the space?
Oh, there's so many aspects to that. Let's dissect it a bit. I mean, you can throw in gambling, for instance, now into the esports side of things. Now you can create a whole blockchain company of just gambling, creating a system where you're betting on different people playing games, excuse me, and then creating a blockchain system of that. Not to say that you create your own blockchain, but you would run off an Ethereum contract, for instance, and you're just hosted with ERC20 tokens. But there's so much. It's such a wider range of things that blockchain, and especially gaming, can produce, because blockchain is becoming so mainstream now, but so is esports. So now is the time to start putting those together and start creating something unique and special.
Gotcha. Yeah. And it makes a ton of sense. And I mean, I know that you've been in the industry since 2016, and you've seen it go up and down from 17 to 18, and now back on the rise again. But what are some different projects that are in the blockchain space that have you pretty excited?
There's a very, very cool one that's coming out. It's coming out next year, and I'm sure a lot of people know about it. It's Facebook's Libra coin. Sorry. And that's got me really excited. But it also got me, I'm a bit, I don't know what the word is, but not concerned, but I would like to see how the banks are going to react to it. So it's going to be a very interesting road to walk down. But I'm very keen for what Facebook has to offer, because they have a lot of big boys on their team that's backing them. We know Visa's on their PayPal, Uber's on there. There's so many guys that are with them, with Facebook, into this blockchain. And the beauty part about it is it's now, 2.2 billion Facebook users. I mean, Imagine how mainstream blockchain and cryptocurrency is going to become then.
Right.
Because that is now global awareness if you need it.
Right. Which is what they're doing right now. And we can save the Libra coin conversation for another day, because as much as I want to unpack that, the only thing I'll really say about it is one, I mean, as you know, in the crypto world, it's because it's not truly decentralized, it's centralized. I don't know that you can call it a true cryptocurrency, but I'll take the free press and help. I mean, ever since this Libra coin's been announced, the market's been exploding. So thanks for the spotlight, Facebook. But for what it's trying to do, I don't really see it as a cryptocurrency, but I do see it as a potential world bank and exchange that people can start having value from anywhere in the world. And that is powerful. But at the same time, I think the word you're looking for earlier was cautious. I'm very cautious to see how much power that they are able to have if they're able to successfully pull this off.
Yeah, look, I think if they do it, if they can do it correctly, I think Libra will be the next Bitcoin. That's my personal opinion, obviously. I think maybe it can take over the price of Bitcoin. And that's why next year I would like to jump on the bandwagon and try to get as much of the coins as I can.
Well, the thing with Libra, though, is that it's trying to become a stable coin. So it's trying to be the world standard of $1. So, it's not that the price action of Libra itself is going to, be insurmountable. It's going to be more of it's trying to become the world standard of what is one of anything. Mm-hmm. So like that is going to be a very interesting space. And I do agree that that is something to be on the horizon of and people should be paying attention to. But, 2019 is shaped to be an extremely bullish year. And you have a ton of new announcements of all this new projects that are entering the market, projects that have already been kind of working for the last couple of years and they are starting to get a lot of backing. But there's so much yet to come. And what do you think is on the what do you think is in the horizon for the rest of this year and going into early 2020?
Yeah, like you said, there is so much more to come. I mean, let's take, for instance, marijuana. Or weed. The states have recently legalized it. Most of the world is starting to legalize it. Even South Africa, who is 20 years behind the world, has legalized it. And that, for me, is a big space that's going to hit crypto and blockchain in no time. And that's a booming market on its own. Another one, again, I know it's coming back to my kind of industry, but it's esports. Esports is a booming market. The other side is real estate. Real estate has some huge potential for good blockchain projects to come. And I would say the last one, probably medical. I know a lot of people don't think medical, but medical, if you look into like real projects in the medical space, there's some big ones lining up that could take the world by storm. And that's, for me, are the top ones that I think in the horizon to come. Even this year, I would say more into the weed and the CBD side of things. And then next year and the years to come would continue grow with real estate and medical.
Yeah, all industries that greatly can benefit from using blockchain technology. And I really think so, especially on the medical side too, that it's just from a data standpoint so crucial. If you look at just some of the different blockchain use cases and how it transfers over, and even to the crypto side, VeChain just locked up this huge deal with Walmart. And there's many more projects that are about to, that are coming out that are partnering with big entities. So there's just so much, and this is so early, but there's the microscope and the lens is slowly but surely starting to get over the crypto and blockchain area. So I'm glad to see that kind of context and formation start to happen. But I still think it's important for you and I and people in the community to keep, educating people on these different opportunities, because if you can get in on the early front of this, there's so much upside in the future.
Yeah. You see, the thing that I think that scared people a lot was the 2017 boom and then the 2018 crash. And a lot of people were like, oh, that's the Bitcoin bubble that exploded. And it wasn't like that. Bitcoin was completely overbought at the time. You know what happens when mainstream media takes over and things start trending. And that, for me, is how I see what happened to Bitcoin. It blew up in this trend. Everyone wants to jump on the bandwagon, and it had to consolidate, and it never did until it finally hit 19,700 or whatever, and it dropped heavily. And that's why I think a lot of people were frightened as to, what is crypto and what is blockchain, and, it's anonymous and it's decentralized, and can you control it? And this is the things that we had to deal with in 2018. And a lot of, the SEC had a lot to play with it, and India were banning it left, right, and center. China banned it. People didn't understand it. And I think people are becoming more and more aware now. Just this year alone, there's so many more blockchain summits and events that are happening around the world that people are going to. And, people are starting to understand what blockchain is and how it can actually benefit us. And yes, we know there's high volatility, and, a lot of tokens, especially like you said, Libra, are coming out with stable coins now. So that there is no volatility in the token anymore.
Right.
Which I think is a good thing. Because, you hold the token at $1 at a stable coin, or you peg it against a fiat currency like the pound or whatever you do, and then you have a stable coin put in place, which is a good thing, I think.
Yeah. And there's a lot of ways that what's going on in the market can be leveraged and and made into mass adoption, which at the end of the day, I think that's what we're slowly heading towards. I think we're still a ways away from getting to true mass adoption, but I think Libra potentially helped streamline that by putting it on most people's radar. So there's a lot to go, but we're heading in the right direction. But man, Trevor, I really appreciate all the time that you've spent with us today. And, I always try to ask our speakers to leave us with a final thought that they want to leave with our audience. So I want to pose that question to you now.
Final thought is, if people tell you not to start gaming, just laugh at them, because, gaming, esports, whatever it is, it's taking over. And eventually, in fact, I actually spoke to a guy on LinkedIn the other day, and we were having a conversation, and he said to me that he used to be able to watch a 90-minute football game. And now he can't anymore because he's been watching so much esport games, which are like 30 minutes each. And your attention span is it's like blocks out a 90-minute football game. And that's where we're going in this world. We're going into a stage of this world now where gaming and esports and these type of things are taking over. And I truly applaud the people and the people listening to this is, don't be afraid of gaming. Don't be afraid of esports. Don't shun it. Don't look away from it as it being a waste of time. It's not. There's actually a lot of value in the industry.
Definitely. And thank you for shining a light on that today and making sure that that's on people's radars, because it's definitely here and it's here to stay. And there's so much opportunity in it. You just have to look for it. So thanks for telling us about Engage and everything that's going on with it. And what are some different ways that people can connect with you in the Engage project?
We currently have a LinkedIn profile. You can go to Engage Gametech. And we have a Facebook page and a Telegram channel as well. It's the same name. We're busy setting up our marketing plan now to start. We spent the last 6 months building our assets, as in the pitch deck and the white paper and everything. So we weren't really focused on the marketing side of things. But if they want to contact us there, you can contact us through Facebook, LinkedIn, or Telegram. If you want to contact me directly, just look for me as Trevor Henry on LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Perfect. Well, again, Trevor, thank you so much for joining us today, dropping all that knowledge on us, and for everyone listening, stay cryptocurrent.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for listening to another episode of Cryptocurrent. For more information on this episode and all of our episodes, please visit us at www.crypto-current.co. Stay up to date with the latest news in cryptocurrency. You'll receive daily emails Monday through Friday that are personalized and curated content specific to you and your interest, powered by artificial intelligence. Are you an accredited investor looking to invest in cryptocurrency? Crescent City Capital can help. Go to crescentcitycapital.com for more information. If you're finding value in our content, please take 5 minutes to leave a 5-star review and a great comment. Also, please make sure to share this podcast with others. Hello, everyone. I hope you're enjoying the quality of this podcast. I can only thank my amazing producer, Andrew DeRitter, with DeRitter Productions, who has put this together. If you have any podcast, visual, or video needs, please go to DeRitterProductions.com. That's DERITTER Productions.com.
This has been another episode of Cryptocurrent, bringing you one step closer to becoming a crypto and blockchain aficionado. We look forward to giving you the latest in crypto news and analyses next week. Stay cryptocurrent.
Please use available exits now.